Hello! If you're just joining us, my name is Katie Dougherty. I am the Associate State Director of Communications here at AARP Alaska, and you are joining us for Fraud Friday, our short video series, visiting with fraud prevention experts from around Alaska. Today, I am joined by Michelle Tabler, our volunteer fraud education expert. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
We are talking generally about identity theft and identity theft prevention. It's a topic that is foremost on many folks' mind. Michelle, let's get right into it. What is identity theft and how can we prevent becoming a victim?
Well, identity theft occurs when an unauthorized person steals your personal information. It can be anything from your home address, social security number, your date of birth, bank account, or credit card information, and then they use this information for fraud. And we found that just in last 2 years, more than 25% of Americans have been victimized by this, with a loss of almost 17 billion in losses. And there's different types of identity theft. There's tax ID theft, social security number scams, and seniors tend to be targeted because they may not be technologically savvy. Scammers range in sophistication from those who steal your mail just going to your mailbox and stealing your mail, to high-tech theft such as hacking into your bank accounts, retail chains, and other companies. And we've been seeing this just as you listen to the national news. Scammers may call people on the phone claiming to be from a government agency, from their credit card company, from a bank, from a utility, and they'll ask for account numbers, social security numbers, for you to verify the information, that they're calling you because they want to talk to you about something. Or the scam may come in the form of an email, which we call a phishing email with a PH, that asks for information. And again, it looks like it's from your bank or your credit card company, where they've just cut and pasted it to look real. And oftentimes they want you to click on a link which can infect your computer with malware and then lead to ransomware. So it can be a very detrimental effect on our lives. It's important to be vigilant. It's also very time consuming to straighten out the problems caused by this scam, and it's disconcerting and emotionally draining. So we have some points that we'd like you to consider that can help you prevent identity theft, and to think about some of these things that you may not have thought about. So I'll just go into it if that's okay. One of the most important things ever is not to give out your personal information ever on any unsolicited phone calls. I don't care who they say that they're calling you. I'd say for the most part, just hang up the phone, or maybe not even answering it if you have caller ID. And again, don't always depend on caller ID, because those can be faked and spoofed. It could say it's from your utility company. It could say it's from the IRS. And honestly, none of them are actually going to call you. So there's no reason. Let it just go to voicemail and find out what they really want, or if it's something serious. And if you're concerned about it, then look up the actual phone number, not the phone number that they're giving you, and call it back. Passwords are an important thing. Don't give them out. Keep them very unique. Don't use any words in the dictionary. Use phrases, numbers, symbols. The top two passwords, of course, are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the word password. And you just don't want to do that. You don't want to use a word that's in the dictionary. I know it's a hassle to have different passwords for each account, to remember them, to change them frequently, but it's something that we have to do in this day and age. And I would keep it hidden, but write it down. Don't keep it anywhere on your computer, because if they get access into your computer, they can just go to the file for passwords, and then you have to change everything. Mailboxes, let's face it, are not secure these days. So either get a locking mailbox. We've got porch pirates out there that are stealing stuff right off of our front doors. So just be careful when you send boxes. Send it to your office. Send it when you know you're going to be home. And there's some places here in town where you can actually have Amazon boxes sent to, and or you can just retrieve them there if you're not going to be home. The most important thing you can do is shred everything that has any identifying information on it. I know AARP has free shred days. Other places do as well. Use those. You can pick up bags from some of these shred companies and take the stuff over and have the stuff shred fairly inexpensively. or have a personal shredder. If you have to purge lots of boxes of old tax returns and that sort of thing, you want to take it to be shred. When you get mail, don't just tear it up, especially if it's those checks that some of these credit cards and stuff send you. You don't want to do that. You want to shred it, because there are still dumpster divers out there that are going through people's mail, and you've got to be careful. You want to, and this surprises me, the number of people that don't do it. You want to monitor your bank and credit card statements and your utility statements every single month. And you want to find any unauthorized charges, because you've got a limited time that you can actually report the fraud and have it credited. So make sure you check every single month. Sometimes it can start out with something as simple as $1.99, and you may not know it, and it might even be on your cell phone bill. So you've got to get it right away and make sure you monitor monthly all of your bills. Never respond to unsolicited emails. Never click on any links that you get. You've just got to be careful. If you're curious about it, or if you think it's from your bank, go directly to your bank's website. Never click on anything that you receive in an email. We advise people with credit and debit cards and everything else that people have in your wallet. You don't need to have that stuff in your wallet. One credit card and your driver's license, as far as, insurance cards and all of that, your doctor's offices can make copies of it. Never carry your Social Security card in your wallet. And the stuff that you do carry in your wallet, we suggest that once a year you make a copy of the front and back of it so you have all the information. And especially if you're traveling, make sure you have a copy that you take with you, and that you keep aside from your purse or your personal belongings, so that if something happens when you're traveling, you can contact the credit card companies. We also suggest using a second credit card just for online purchases, so that way you know right away if it's been compromised and it's not compromising your other types of bills that you may be paying on there, but that it's just used online and for nothing else. When you enter personal information into a website, make sure it has the HTTPS on the end. That means it's a secure website, and it has the icon with the lock on it. And you want to make sure it's for every page that you go to. And also watch for those URLs that change at the top to make sure that the website is not taking you somewhere where you don't want to go. One thing people don't think about that still use checks out there, and I think seniors are still known for writing checks, is to minimize the personal information that you put on your checks. You just need your name. And actually, you just need your first initial and your last name. If you check with your bank, you're going to find that you don't need anything else. Never put Social Security numbers, never put your driver's license number, never have any of that information on your checks. I remember the old days, when I used to work in retail, that we used to draw an X and put everybody's information before credit cards were widely used, including their Social Security number and their driver's license numbers. You don't want to have any of that information on your check. Most of the stuff is done by the barcode on the bottom anyway. Prescription bottles, how many people finish their prescription and just throw them out? You want to take those labels off and put it on your shred pile. It has information, it has personal information, it has your doctor on it, and it has the type of drugs. So you want to make sure that that does not go in the trash with your label on it. So take that off. Make sure that your antivirus software is up to date. And because even though it might be reactive to what's happening, at least it's cleaning up for any viruses that they know are out there. You want to shred all those pre-authorized credit card offers when those come in. Don't just tear them up and throw them away, again, because of the dumpster divers. And believe me, there are people out at the dump that are doing that. So you've got to be careful. And we talked about photocopying all your anything that's in your wallet. You want to, and we're advising this, if you don't need to use your credit, freeze your credit at all three credit bureaus. It only takes maybe 5-10 minutes per credit bureau. If you ever need to apply for credit, either for a new credit card or you're getting a car loan or a new mortgage, just ask which company they use. You can unfreeze it for the day or so and then freeze it back up. And right now there's no charge for any of that. So we suggest just keep your credit frozen, because there's no reason for it to just be out there and for scammers to be able to apply for credit in your name. Never wire money for anything, or buy iTunes cards or Amazon cards for anything that's how they want you to pay, and read them the number on the back. It's the same as cash. It can't be traced. And it's a big red flag that it's a scam, because no legitimate company is going to ask for that. And what they do is they just wait for you to activate those credit cards, or to read them the number, then they activate, and they have other ways, especially on the dark web, to get the money out of those. Security questions when you're setting up your bank account. There's nothing that says you have to give the real answer, and don't give the real answer. Make up a word or a phrase, again with numbers and symbols in it, and use that. It's just something you're going to remember. They don't really care what your mother's maiden name is, or who your first pet was, or what your first car was. They're not going to know. It's for you to remember to get into your account. Make up a phrase and use that for those security questions. Never use the real answers for that. We advise people too, where it comes to taxes, to file your tax return as early as possible. We've had a lot of tax ID theft where scammers have filed for your tax refund in your name, and before you even have filed your taxes. So you've got to be really careful with that. Before you dispose of any old computers, smartphones, or any other devices with information on it, and that even includes printers, which have some kind of a hard drive on there. You want to make sure and wipe all the information, remove any memory cards or SIM cards, and wipe them clean before you take them to be destroyed or you donate them. When you can, do two-method authentication for financial websites, where you get text a code to use, and that adds a layer of security. And those are my tips for today.
Wow, Michelle, I certainly have some steps to take following our conversation today. That was a lot of great information.
Good.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Michelle, and to our viewers, we really appreciate you watching. This has been AARP Alaska's Fraud Friday, part of our short video series on fraud prevention. We've been joined by Michelle Tabler, our volunteer fraud education expert, talking about identity theft. We remind all of our viewers that if you or a loved one suspect a scam, that you call the free AARP Fraud Watch Network helpline. That number is 877-908-3360. Again, it's 877-908-3360. And for more general information on fraud and fraud prevention, please visit Ftc.gov. That's Ftc.gov. And thank you, Michelle, for joining us. And thanks to all who are joining us online. Appreciate it. Bye.